everyone, my name is Zenitsu and I'm back with another Digimon video. So today I'm going to be doing a case opening of EX03. This is probably the last time I'm going to actually be doing a case opening of an EX set. It's not that I think that they're bad sets, it's just monetarily I don't necessarily think that they're worth it. So I'm just going to be doing a couple of booster box openings instead and then just subsidizing with buying singles for the rest of them, just because, again, I don't feel like the value is exactly there. But I do think that they're still really fun and interesting sets, and usually they do come with their own set of supplementary products. So I also have a gift box that I'm also going to be opening up. And for the most part, when I actually do get into the case opening, I'm going to be going a little bit faster just because, well, I have spoiler videos of all of the cards if you want to see all of the cards for yourself. My camera quality isn't exactly the best at trying to show off the cards, so I'm just going to open it up and see what the case ratios are because that's what I personally really care about. So far from the breakdown that they gave on the website, it looks like this is going to follow in line with EX2, and depending on how they handle EX sets in the future, that seems like it might be the traditional. I think they're adding and changing a couple of things here or there, but we'll see when we get there. So let's just start off with opening up the gift box first. So the gift box this time around comes with 5 packs. It's a little bit more expensive. It does have a bonus pack of some reprinted promos, and it does have an acrylic sheet that is going to have a nice stand that you could kind of use as a memory marker because it does have the little arrow that points at the memory, and then it does have all of these little tokens, which I actually find to be pretty intriguing just because, well, it actually helps us keep track of what abilities the Digimon has and some of the various other effects that's going to go on with the game. So it makes things a little bit easier. Looks like my packs were a little bit off-shifted, so... and then it does have a memory gauge. Usually these ones aren't that great. I think this one's a lot better than the last time we saw them. Yeah, definitely a lot better. Not as sturdy, but still pretty decent nonetheless to have. So let's just take out all of the packs first. And get right into the opening. I could throw that away later. So let's start with the EX, or the gift box packs first, just because a lot of people are curious. Based on normal math ratios, you should still see your average SR/secret rare in every, like, 2 to 2.5 packs. So the likelihood of you at least seeing something is kind of decent, at least in a gift box. I know some people have had insane pulls on gift boxes, so let's just hope that we could get some here. So I'll go slower on these cards just because this will be some of the first time that we see them. Again, EX sets are smaller sets, so you're going to be seeing a lot of the cards very often. That's a rare. Okay. And then once I get into the main booster box opening, I'll put on some nice music, and we could have our usual fun discussion. Whatever that discussion's actually going to be. Is it 2 commons or 3? 3. Ooh, Dark Dramon as our first hit. That's a pretty good one. I know a lot of people really like the D Brigades deck, and I think the new D Brigade support in this is absolutely fantastic for that deck. But as far as my overall thoughts on the set, I think it's a pretty okay set. You have your, like, semi-competitively viable decks. You have your, like, 1 or 2 competitively viable decks. A lot of good and solid updates. Ooh, Alt Art's Dorbikmon. Not a bad hit. And then you do have just a lot of chaff that is, like, whatever. I think like the big winners is obviously Bloomlord. It's obviously going to be Examon. Those are definitely looking competitively viable. Obviously, D-Brigades is going to be one of the more popular and powerful decks with good updates. I think Four Holy Dragons, unfortunately, is one of the big losers. That deck just doesn't seem that great. Same thing with Dark Imperial. It is a pretty fun and exciting deck, but the setup is just really, really hard. So it's going to be interesting to see what impact this has on the game as a whole, considering it does come with a slew of ban and restrictions. So let's see what my little promo is. Hey, Diaboromon. Actually, it's not the most valued one. It's actually the least valued one, but I don't have a full playset of this Diaboromon, so for me personally, it is a big win. So all in all, not terrible out of this. I don't necessarily think it's like $35. Maybe if it was like 30 or 25, even just 20 like the other one, I think that's a much better deal and a much better value for what you're getting. But I think it's still a fun extra product just to have an excuse to have some extra tchotchkes. So now let's get into, oops, the music. All right. So now we could actually get into the big meat and potatoes, which is going to be the booster boxes. If there is a slight echo, I do apologize, by the way. So if anyone is unfamiliar with EX boxes, they are smaller size in terms of the card pool that you're pulling from. A normal booster box has about 100 and like, I'm just going to round it up, 115. Usually it's like 112, 113. And in these you get like 78. So it is a significantly decreased size in terms of your card pool. Most of the time in these EX sets, they seem like they want to have self-contained decks, or like just a couple of good updates to some decks that were previously in the meta already. So let's just get into box one. But I like Machinedramon a lot. The fact that Machinedramon is like one of the few decks that like keeps getting support is pretty funny to me. Right now he's not the most competitively viable, but the fact that he just keeps getting something literally every single set, he eventually will get there. Gallantmon is also another deck that seems like it just keeps getting support, at least a good amount of the time. So, like, Gallantmon, I think, is maybe not always going to be the most best deck to play, but, hey, box one, Examon already. But I think it's a very safe deck to want to pick up, especially if you just want to have a deck that'll last you, just because, again, all of the support that it's getting. We already know that it's getting support in BT12. Machinedramon's getting support in BT 11. So, like, these decks keep getting support, and they keep getting better, so they'll eventually be pretty strong decks. Aegis-Dramon as the first SR. Nice. My friend wants to play Aegis-Dramon. I think Aegis-Dramon's pretty cute. It seems like it's one of those, like, go-wide decks, and it has the ability to go wide pretty well. It's just, I think there's just a lot of untapped potential because we're handicapping ourselves by looking at a lot of these Japanese results. Because right now, Japan, like, it usually has pretty polarizing results where it's like one deck rules the entirety of the format. And, like, we kind of get a different take and a different look at it. And we get to put things into a different perspective because of the just cultural differences. Yeah, so this set also has a lot of cards that need erratas. So like I know Sunarizumon is just saying dragon, but that's like a bad translation because it's the kanji for dragon or Ryu, but Ryu goes into a lot of other words than just dragon. So Examon or Dorbikmon also has that same type of wording, and then you have that same type of wording with like Adristramon as well with Plesiomon. So it's just unfortunate that their quality, the quality of the cards, like the actual card stock and all that, is fine. It's just their translations, they could be doing a better job. A metallic. So I think like the Hina deck is going to be pretty interesting. Like, there's just a lot of fun things to go on, and I don't necessarily know how competitive it's going to be. I think the Hina deck kind of handicaps itself because it doesn't seem like it's going to be getting a whole bunch of, like, more inline direct support, but maybe it could get some, like, good indirect support that could help the deck forward. But right now, we haven't seen any, like, huge, big ground-shaking updates to it in the future sets that we do know and are aware of. But, like, it seems like they're trying to do a little bit more self-contained decks within these types of sets. So you have the Hina deck, you have the Examon deck, which can almost be made exclusively from these types of cards. The Four Great Dragons deck is also a deck that could theoretically be built with nothing but EX03 cards as well. So, like, it seems like these are the more casual product when it comes to just being able to start the game and try to figure out what's going on. But as always, the card art on Digimon is just absolutely phenomenal. It has some of the best art. Hey, Hydramon. So I think in BT, or not BT, EX2, I'd have to go look back at it. I think you get 3 of each secret rare and ideally 1 of each alt art. So let's see if this set will follow the same type of a pattern. Ooh. Alt arts fighter mode. Heck yeah. I'll take that. Good first box. Wow. Usually the good boxes aren't till the middle end. But I'll take a good first box. EX sets I definitely don't think are like super worth investing in. Which is again why I'm gonna be stopping buying cases. Because it's just like the card pool is just so small. The card, like, SRs already don't hold a whole lot of value most of the time. So I just don't feel like it is worth the same price as a normal booster box when you're getting theoretically less usable cards. You're kind of getting the same level, like the same amount of decks per se that ideally want to be formed from this set. But in terms of like actual amount of varied different cards, you are functionally getting less. And that kind of bothers me. So unless another EX set really excites me, because I know I have a couple of friends who are like super pumped about the dragons and some of the support that it that's offered in this set. Like, unless it's one of those types of things in scenarios for me, I don't think it's really worth it. And I'll just be sticking to opening cases of main sets instead, because those seem like they're worth it. The reprint set, because I have a lot of cards already, just because I've opened up literally a case of every single set of Digimon currently, I think I'm also going to be skipping on that as well. just because it has 33 new cards, and I'm just gonna buy the 33 new cards. Like, it's not worth it for me to have and get cards I already have.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
How's it going?
Good. I already, box 1, pulled an Alt Art Secret Rare and an Examon, so I'm doing pretty good.
Alt Art Imperial?
Alt Art Imperial.
I was just looking, since you were talking about it. Technically, according to EX03 only, not looking at BT11, because in BT11 it actually just fell off the map completely. But for EX3 exclusively, Link Dragons did just as good as Examon did. But it didn't get any new support, so nobody's playing it.
Yeah. That sounds like Japan for you.
Like literally, like BL Star at least has 3. It's lower than 3 because I stopped at 25 decks. So it's not even in the top 25 decks for BT11 at the moment.
Which is funny because I was just talking about like support and future stuff, and like the fact that Link Dragons doesn't have any future support, or at least like good direct future support that it wants. I do think that deck even here would probably fall off. Like, I think it's a strong... The idea of it seems really strong. It's just...
I'm at least gonna throw it together and see... Because the idea sounds good. At least because, I mean, obviously, anyone that has heard me ever just, like, talk about decks and concept, it's usually stems from... Okay, what is this deck trying to do, and how much is that relevant? And so, looking at just what the deck does, you've got your red and your black, and you just kind of run the full package, red and black. And
yeah, because I noticed there's a lot of just like double full
on
packages.
Play effects. Yeah, I mean they doubled up, which I don't necessarily blame them for, because it lets them fit the whole working package of the deck in one set, as opposed to splitting it in half like normally. Because if we only got the red Link Dragon lineup and then the black, next set, it now just means that especially if it isn't super competitive or isn't super popular, then you're just kind of wasting 2 whole sets worth of one color to make a subpar archetype, which they do frequently, but it's annoying when it happens. Especially because I really like the design of Metallic Dramon and the whole Metallic Dramon line, because I've actually really liked just Jazzamon as a card ever since we got the one from the starter deck. Because I remember looking at it when I got the black starter deck and I was like, huh, this is a card I'll never use, but it's a cool Digimon that I didn't know existed prior to the card game. And this is the second Jazzamon we've gotten since the starter deck.
Yeah. Oh, as far as what came in, the hits that came in my gift box, it was Altart Dorbikmon, Dark Dramon, and then the promo Diabormon, which ironically is the worst to value out of all of them, but is the one that I was actually looking for.
What is?
The Diabormon.
Oh, out of your...
Yeah, because it's one of the few promos I don't have a full playset of, and it's slowly becoming easier and easier.
I mean, Diaboromon X exists and hasn't been printed yet.
Right. Like, so Diaboromon might eventually come back, because, like, in terms of lore... Oops. That's weird. Again, okay. Did I accidentally do that? Oh, well. You don't even need to interview. In terms of lore, there is no other parts of the Diaboromon line outside of Caramon X and Diaboromon X, and then the Mega, or the level 7.
To learn more about all the benefits of working a seasonal job at Amazon, go to amazon.com/hourly. Amazon is proud to be an equal opportunity.
I didn't realize they came with like 4 alt art, or 3 alt arts.
You know why I like jazz? Because it reminds me of AAA auto insurance. You heard that right? AAA has auto insurance. We've got the experience to improvise in any situation.
Cool.
Yeah,
Box
3
one
altars.
is done.
So it should be -1 super, but +1 secret / altar.
Yeah, so I don't know. I got 4 technically
Honestly,
3 alt arts / secrets and then 6 supers. 1 2 3 4
I
5
mean,
6. Yep.
I know you literally just bought a case, and you're going to try and recoup that in some capacity.
That's where the
but
alt arts are coming from.
If you give me like a week, which is a long time in card game history, but I honestly like, just based on the fact that there are plentiful alt art options for the deck, I might want to like max rarity my Examon list.
Well, I mean, I already have a Dracmon.
That's what I mean, like, between you and I, depending on what they cost and how many of them I just inherently get with what I get, I'm less concerned with the alt art Examons specifically, but honestly, just the Dracomon's cute. Dude's cool.
I mean, you know, I'll hook you up.
Well, I also don't want you to, because, like I mean, there is a world where after a week, the prices haven't gone anywhere, and I'm like, never mind. And I don't want you to, again, I guess hopefully if the prices haven't gone anywhere, then you can still get whatever they were worth a week ago.
Depending on how you feel, we could work it out.
Okay.
I
wasn't gonna hold you to holding them for me, because I'm still very much on the fence about it.
Well, I mean, it takes a bit to move cards anyway, so... Like, they're not all gonna instantly sell. I think I still have some alt arts and stuff from the other cases that I have, that I've yet to sell, so... Although, it's funny, I find it weird when people complain about, like, oh my god, my booster boxes were exactly the same. I'm like, yeah, that's what you want. Like, it kind of feels
especially
like it sucks,
people who
but,
buy, like, it, yeah, it's unfortunate because it ruins the slot machine of a booster box, but wouldn't you want a rigged slot machine? Nobody's going to be complaining, like, oh man, my slot machine continues to pay out exactly as much money as I expected it to.
Right. It's like, oh, I'm getting cards consistently to be able to build and play decks. I'm just like, oh, boo.
Well, see, the thing is, it's not consistency as far as, like, it's just you get exactly the same thing. So if you wanted those cards, that's great. If you didn't, you're just bad twice.
That's true.
Because I do remember back in the, like, very seeded boxes of BT4.
Oh my god.
Where
that was a trip.
I opened a box and pulled a War Greymon and already knew I was getting a Lucamon before I even actually found the Lucamon.
Oh, I guess. Does everything sound alright on your end, chat? For whoever's actually in here?
It's just me. It sounds just what normally it does.
Okay. I mean, I am already seeing clumpings, but that's just because the set is so small. It literally can't be helped. God, it's gonna be so weird not spending money on a case of everything. Not saying that's a problem, but I don't know. I did that for a lot of the other games that I used to play, just because that was literally how you get all of the cards. Like Force Will, a case was like 4 booster boxes, and 4 booster boxes you get literally everything you need for the entire set.
I've only ever played Magic, and that's not how you do that.
Magic is the only one that, Magic you can't do that with.
It's all Japanese card games. You just only mention Japanese card games.
Yeah, it's Japanese card games. They do that.
Flesh and Blood doesn't work like that either.
No, it doesn't.
Never played it, but I know people that do. It's because
Yeah,
they have like, I mean, we have the problem already with the amount of rares we have, and you know, oh, I need 4 of this rare. There's 45 rares in a set. Like, no, you never get that many.
Yeah, it is definitely more of a Japanese thing, which I totally don't mind. Because, like, I used to play Buddy Fight, and I literally would buy cases of older sets just because I could mathematically guarantee myself to see X cards if I bought a case. So I kept doing that just because I was, again, it was that guarantee. And that's like the only reason why I do it for Digimon is because I just am so used to that as a habit of buying card games.
My only experience with anything beyond just buying like a booster box when a set came out was one of my friends who had a very first world problem of he asked for Yu-Gi-Oh cards for his birthday, and his parents didn't know the difference between a booster box and a booster case.
Oh,
so
God.
they bought him a case for his birthday.
I bet he was happy.
Yeah, I mean, but I
think Yu-Gi-Oh also doesn't work that way, which is weird.
I
have
you
never
need
opened up a
card.
booster box of Yu-Gi-Oh ever, so
You only need 3 of a card, so it's just easier. I don't think people buy cases just because you don't need to. Not because it's not like good for ratio wise.
yeah.
And but I remember when, you know, this incident happened, we were like in high school, and I was like, I promise you that that mistake will never happen with my parents, not because that they don't know the difference, because they don't, but because when given the, like, would you like to spend $80 or $1,000? Like, they know which one that I asked for my birthday.
That's, yeah. My parents don't really, they stopped buying me things for my birthday a while ago since I started being in the workforce. I was at the workforce at a very young age. I've been working since like the age of 12 or 13. So my parents were just like, okay, you're making money?
Ridiculous
Cool, we don't need
concept
to
to
buy
me.
you stuff.
Which is a ridiculous concept, because like asking even for something as like an Xbox or something would have been like a Christmas, you get like one present kind of thing, and oh, you just get a case of the newest Magic of Yu-Gi-Oh set. Like,
No, I get it. Oh, that's the normal SR. I'm like, wait. I forgot I got an alt art of the card, and I was just like, wait a second.
other interesting, because I was reminded of it through, if we're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. I was trying to find a hard definition for the tiers as far as like play percentage or win rate or whatever. And I found it over again. I guess somewhere it must have been written, or like somewhere in their balancing, Yu-Gi-Oh defines a tier 0 deck as 65% of the meta or greater.
That's, I mean, with how wide Yu-Gi-Oh is and how many decks there are, that's kind of crazy.
You say that, but on my post today, people were saying that like, they were genuinely praising how many decks were played in Digimon. Obviously, I included like 25 decks, but one of the things they're like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh is only bad when there are like 3 playable decks, which we've never been that bad.
No, thankfully we've never been that bad. Come on. The packaging on these packs this time around for this set is a little bit harder than some of the others. Like, I can't just do my normal, like, opens. I actually have to use the pull tab. Hey, Adris, My friend actually wants to build Aegis-Dramon because Metal Seedramon is his favorite Digimon, and Aegis-Dramon actually makes Metal Seedramon playable. I'm like, oh, okay. So these are gonna go to him for like his Christmas gift or whatever. Like, I have a whole care package for him because Black War Greymon also just so happens to be one of his favorite Digimon. So I'm like, alright, you're getting all of the rares and below for the deck, and he's just like, good enough for me. Although, that's one benefit to having just a butt ton of bulk, is I could just hand it out and not even care. Which helps locals and whatnot.
You could also do the same with the money you spend in the bulk.
I mean, yes.
Hi, here's $60. Buy yourself something pretty.
Well, like, so I could build the 4 Great Dragons deck probably, like, at least 2 or 3 times over just to hand to somebody. It's just like, oh, I don't have a Digimon deck. Here, take this.
I'm pretty sure that's technically win trading, because by giving somebody a 3 Great Dragons deck, you're guaranteeing when you play against them at locals, you beat them.
No, I play a lot of jank at locals, so I usually mix up my decks.
My statement stands. Unless you happen to lose the 3 Great Dragons mirror, you're beating 3 Great Dragons. Or 4
Well,
Great
I mean,
Dragons.
so would I rather... I mean, my brother's barely... Oh, there's a second one for you.
Regular Examon?
Dracmon.
Oh, nice.
Alt Art Drac.
Cute.
Like... Some of the players on my locals are not very good. I will openly admit that on stream.
Every locals has that.
Yeah, so, like, one of my brothers is still learning how to play the game. He's trying his hardest with Black War Greymon, because, again, that's his favorite Digimon, so I'm like, okay, I can't just not build the deck for him, because that's what he's asking for. And he's just having a very hard time. Like, he's not understanding... He used to be a Magic player, and he's having a hard time coming to terms with the differences between the card games. Like, he just wants to turn card sideways and smash face. He was an elf player, by the way. So, he just can't. Oh, I don't have an Examon in this set. Or in this. There's only 3 hits instead of 4.
Yeah. So it's the same as EX1. You get 3 hits, with a 50% chance of a secret rare.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, it's the
I
same
don't
as
remember
EX2.
if
I'm sorry.
EX2 was like that either. I just remember counting the amount of total
Yeah,
cards.
they just added an alt art. Basically, it's just like a normal set, but you added it's just like a normal EX set, but they added an alt art. Because that's how I remember EX2 being. Is, yeah, the 50% chance of the... What was the secret of EX2?
It was...
Oh, no, it
Beelzebub.
was Blast mode and Crimson mode.
Yep. It was Blast Mode and Crimson. I might have enough high rarity cards of the Examon level 5s, if I'm lucky. The box topper versions. Yeah, so I'm used to pulling the center apart, and for whatever reason, the ceiling on it is strong enough where I can't. So I have to use the garbage pull tab, because I'm really bad at pull tabs. No, but I think the English meta is definitely going to be... Like, this is the hardest time where it's just like, I honestly... Like, I thought figuring out what to play for BT9 was hard. I think this is, like, figuring out BT11 is harder.
Well, BT9, I felt like it didn't matter as much to me personally, because it's what flavor of OTK do I want to enjoy today? And at least the, you know, win conditions of the decks are, like, varying.
Yeah, which is why, like, because I should have just listened to everyone and just played Guru from the get-go, I think I was just being stubborn and I wanted to try something different, and it just was not working. But this time I'm like actually like stumped, where it's just like I have like I could still play Guru, I could still play Blue Flares, I could play Cross Hearts in some capacity with a slight change with the new limitations, because those are like the more aggressive decks I lean towards.
What the world needs now is more than a vacation. We need
On top of just a slew of other different decks that are just fun to play too. Because, like, I could also consider playing Commandramon. I could play, just whatever. Oh, Metallic.
So call your travel agent or go to visitjamaica.com and come back to the vibe that comes alive in Jamaica.
And now, another stroke of genius from Genesis Credit Union. Today, Genius Checking.
I'm no math whiz, but even I can calculate the
I think the Dark Imperial stuff is kind of weird, though. I
I'm
like
gonna
it.
put it together. I'm at least gonna play it. I don't know how much I'm going to like dedicate to it, but it's cool. I like it. It might be one of those Giga Brain decks. You never know.
Could be, yeah.
It could just be a worse loop deck, where, you know, if you know exactly what to trash and when and what to digivolve and how to play your pieces when you're not seeing them.
Because, like, the idea is just digivolve massively at the end of the opponent's turn and then just be able to attack as well with Blitz. And then, like, if you pass turn and then your Mega still stays on the field, you kill it off yourself and you just do it all over again. Like, that seems like that's the strength of the deck, is just doing it all over again. But getting to it the first time is kind of the difficult part. I didn't realize Dorbikmon is a rare. That card's fire.
No, he's just red.
I like his design. Like, both visually and card-wise.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I remember, like, I still use Dorbrickmon as my filler, just replacing Death X in lists because I don't have enough of them, and I still, every time I read it, I call it David Dorbrickmon.
That's pretty funny.
I can't not see the name.
Chaos, alt art.
Should I break up my Machine Dramon list?
I mean, I have one.
I mean, yeah, it exists from EX1, unaltered in a box.
I mean, if it's not really gonna cost you anything to update it, like, just update it.
I mean, that's what I mean. I might be able to just put it together passively.
Oh, there's Chaos Dramon again. I find it funny how people are just like, yeah, I want to build a mill deck, and I'm just like, why? Like,
Mill decks are fun, just not in Digimon.
I hate, even in Magic, I hated mill.
Well, it was, mill has never been good, which is, I mean to my knowledge,
Take
you know,
your
there are
Rune
decks.
Crabs and go.
Well, I mean, outside of Commander's the only thing I can ever think of that had an actual good mill deck, but it wasn't really a mill deck. It was just a good stuff deck that happened to include a mill win con, and the mill win con wasn't like, oh, you deck out, you lose, because that's honestly not that fun and kind of boring. Like,
No, it's you deck out and then you win.
well, that's what I mean. Like, yay, you have no cards, I win. That's not fun. Unless it was Hearthstone and I physically dealt damage to you for doing it, that was fun. But just the idea of taking a mill deck and I can't remember exactly the effect or exactly the creature, but there was a pretty crazy creature that was basically the win con of the mill deck, and it was you know, on God, I'm losing. when you play this card, then mill the top, I think 6 cards of your opponent's decks, like just all of your opponent's decks. So in Commander, that's, you know, a good chunk of cards. Then play 1 card, you know, from each of your opponent's trash without paying its mana cost. And it's like, oh, so I just get the best thing from each of my opponent's trash after milling their whole deck? That's pretty good.
Oh, I think I remember what you're talking about. My Commander mill deck was the Mimeoplasm. I called it the Milioplasm because it was designed to just mill everyone and then steal cards from their grave to basically build my ultimate creature, which was my Commander.
I'm gonna look it up. It's not a commander, it's just a high synergy card. Let's see. Was it even? I say blue-black. Was it even blue-black?
It seems like it would be blue-black. Usually blue itself doesn't have the ability to play cards from the opponent's grave.
I'm just, like, the idea of the card is in my head, I just can't. It was specifically in a Sultai deck. But I don't think the card I needed was Sultai.
I keep wanting to split it down the middle by force of habit. It's not working. Yeah, like, I opening up a case, unfortunately. Oh, there's the Examon. I'm already getting bored just looking at the same cards. And I'm only on box 3. I'm like, god dang it. Gosh dang it, Bobby. Hey, another Aegis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool, so I have one more alt art. Yeah, see, like, it's funny because this card's translated correctly. It has Dragon, Sar, or Ceratopsian. But Dorbikmon's not. And it was funny, on the spoiler post for EX03, it was on their post, it was the correct card with the correct text. And it was just like, wait a second. Tomorrow we get a big update list. Hey, Altar Aegis. I'll take it. Ah! I guess I could open up Twitch after all of this and just send everyone to Mario because he's doing his 24-hour stream. I don't know why, but he is. Oh, I was about to pull from an open box. Nope, we don't need to do that. Closed boxes only.
I'm still not finding it. I'm really struggling to find this thing.
Just search up strategy and search up mill.
I am.
No, I have a lot of commander decks. Like, I need to start selling out of some of my other card games. Like, I could make a small fortune off of Buddy Fight,
Yeah, like
just because.
Buddy Fight.
Yeah, just because like the
I'm
market's
glad that
actually
you
insane.
actually still own Buddy Fight because I was going to use that as the joke.
Well, I mean, I also own probably way too much Magic. I need to start getting out of that since Magic is kind of slowly dying.
Commander's always going to be there.
Yeah, but I could trim down on the amount of Commander decks that I have. I only play my 5-color ones anyway.
Boo. Generalist.
What do you mean? 5-color slivers, 5-color dragons, 5-color planeswalkers. Like, these are all fine decks. I have a 5-color Gates deck. Like, why would I limit myself to one color when I could play them all? Except I'm not actually playing them all. Most of the time it's just, oh, here's a green base to search out your other colored lands. And then you're playing a small portion of other colored lands and dual lands.
Thank you for interpreting the boo, because that's why it's boo. It's like, you're not playing green because you actually like the flavor of green. It's just you needed ramp, so might as well play green.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, give me my Kadama's Reaches, my Cultivates. Just throw them in every 5-color deck because you need the fixing. Which is why, like, the dual lands from Dominaria United, like, those are actually pretty decent lands. For being your basic tap land. But I was looking at the One Piece card game because, you know, I was perusing Bandai Premium's website, and they had they had a One Piece playmat, and the One Piece playmat was the same size as the Digimon playmat, and I'm just like, God dang it, can't they use big size playmats? Like, I want a normal size playmat. I don't want a tiny one. But Zach would kill me if I said this to him, to his face. I actually think the visual cards themselves of One Piece look boring as shit.
That's the first thing that turned me off about it, is that I don't like. It was my least favorite part of EX2 was just anime screenshots, and that's like, what's the fun of playing a card game where the fantasy is, I'm guy in hat. I'm different guy in hat.
Yeah, plus One Piece is also going to quickly run into the same problem of Dragon Ball Super, where it's like there's actually not enough characters to like reasonably support something unique all the time. It's just like, oh, this is Goku. Now this is Goku Super Saiyan 2. Here's Goku Super Saiyan God. Here's Goku Super Saiyan God, but he has a different sub-name to him. He is the Avenger of Super Saiyans. Like, I just got, like, really freaking bored with Super as well. And they have unique art, but it's all boring. Like, at least with Digimon, like, yeah, even though there's 2 different Quadramons, like, they have different art, and they look good. All the Vmons have different art and they look good. Oh my god, the Vmon with sunglasses.
Vmon with sunglasses? Is he a part of the Squirrel Squad?
He's in EX, or not EX, he's in BT11. And there's literally a Vmon sitting, like, in the Bahamas with sunglasses, and I'm like, this art is so good. And then I look at One Piece and I'm just like, oh, here's static character on colored background, and I'm like, wow, that's cool, I guess. Sure. Like, the alt arts are gonna sell insane for One Piece because the cards look boring.
Wouldn't that, I mean, if nobody cares about the art, wouldn't the alt arts be irrelevant?
No, the alt arts are like Digimon, where like they're actual unique art that's like also full art. So, like, the cards do look actually good. But that's only on the alt arts. Even some of the promos look boring. Like, I'm sure it's a fine game. I'll probably like be a starter deck person where it's just like, yeah, I'll just upgrade a starter deck and call it a day. I'm not gonna go too deep into this. I can't afford to when Digimon's just more appealing to me. But I do like One Piece. I need to catch up on the anime. I usually like binging like a whole bunch chunk of episodes. So that's usually my trend.
I'm too far gone. I've tried to watch One Piece 3 or 4 times, and I end up just I'm watching the movies that more or less just catch me up. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when the deer guy joins the team, and then I stop. Because that's probably episode like 300 out of like 1400.
No, they just hit 1,000 right now. I think the sub is like
what episode did the deer guy join?
31.
I'm gonna Google that phrase exactly.
What?
What episode did the deer guy join?
It's Chopper. His name is Tony Chopper.
Episode 81 of the anime or 134 of the manga. See? Not even 100 episodes in.
Although, right now I'm finishing up Bleach because, you know, they started their final season, which is going to be 50 episodes long, and I'm just like, this is going to be so good because Kubo literally wrote the ending as just nothing but an excuse to draw fights.
That was Naruto too.
Naruto didn't have, like, Naruto was trying to have a good story. Bleach knew it didn't have a good story. That's the big
honestly,
difference.
I think the story was fine for Naruto. I mean, obviously the power level went a little crazy where they started out with like, let's fight some ninjas, and they ended with, let's kill the moon. But
what's that? You're actually an alien from another planet here to harvest us?
Yep, you lost me. Not gonna lie, you lost me.
What happened to when we were like, they went from like, for me the power escalation was like, oh, let's go to being ninjas, to then being wizards, to then fighting God. And I'm just like, okay. God, this alt art metallic looks so good.
Let me see. I gotta tab over. That is pretty sick, yeah.
R.I.P. Digimon Links.
I still haven't found the card. I don't think I ever will.
Aegis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we're getting down to the exciting stuff out of this box.
Actually, because I want to say it was like a horror.
But Ghost Games is actually entertaining. I'm just waiting for the story to pick up. Like, they wasted 50 episodes, literally just kind of doing Monster of the Week, which is fine, but, like, usually they stop doing that at, like, episode 20. And
I couldn't rewatch the animated series, the 2020 Digimon anime, because they just... It was so formulaic, it was a little annoying. But I mean, I guess it's not made for me anymore. I watched it when I was, I think, actually in elementary school, so...
I enjoyed it. The ending alone was pretty worth it. I do think, like, Digimon does get into the Monster of the Week formula, and it really doesn't want to try to leave it, but it kind of needs to. Like, Ghost Games is literally nothing but Monster of the Week, and, like, I think there's only, like, maybe a small handful of episodes that actually matter in terms of the story and plot progression, which is basically anytime you see Black Automon, technically. It's like, oh, I remember X character did something, or X character came back. Now you have a plot point in a little thread that you can connect to make that episode relevant. But, like, right now...
I guess the problem that I was annoyed with was, like... It was like, okay, like... I get it, you know, this is... Sora is having a problem with Biyomon, like... do we need a whole like 40 minutes, 25 minutes to just go over how you're gonna turn into Garudamon for the first time? Because it's gonna be like it's really cool the first time, but like that's it.
They want to show the growth between each of the characters is like the thing with evolutions. So like they do need an episode for them to grow as characters to unlock that evolution.
I understand. That's what I mean. It's like I'm not faulting the show for being the show because
Alter
it is
Examon.
ultimately what I enjoyed about it when I was younger. Altered Examon's the one that I'm still very on the fence about. I don't think I need Altered Examons. I almost like the regular up more.
I'm actually in the opposite camp. I really do like his alt art. I mean, both arts are really good, but I just think the stoic pose that they gave him and the framing...
It's like he's just sitting on a bench.
He's not sitting on a bench. He's actually standing. He is standing, and there is, like, something in the foreground over here to try to show off his size. Unfortunately, the text is literally covering it all. But, like, Examon is a ginormous frickin' Digimon. He is huge.
Is there an Examon X? I mean, I guess there has to be, huh?
I think there is an Examon X.
I feel like there's an X of most things.
I believe all of the Royal Knights got X forms because Yggdrasil wanted to keep them around. Obviously. Except for Alphamon. Yggdrasil's just like, Alphamon, go home. I can't kill you, so just go home.
Alphamon is X antibody.
I'm waiting for Leopard X. I'm waiting for Leopardmon to get his alternate form too. Like
I thought you said leper.
Leopard.
No, like leper.
I don't remember what his Japanese name, if that would have made it easier. Probably not. He's one of the few Royal Knights that gets, like, no attention. I feel so sorry for him. He's just like, yeah, I'm literally the fastest Royal Knight. And then nobody just cares. And I'm just like, okay.
Well, see, all they have to do is take my advice and get... Okay, like, so his thing is speed, right? Well, you know what's the fastest thing? Split second. Give him split second.
Digivolve during the opponent's turn at instant speed. No.
This card cannot be countered.
Sure. But I hope they don't introduce counter spells.
No, I don't think it needs counter spells.
So I was playing more of Yu-Gi-Oh! And just appreciating how dumb that game is. Like, that game is so incredibly dumb and broken. So I was playing what's the new one? Master Duel? Yeah. So I was playing, like, Master Duel, and literally, I was sitting with a sheet that told me how to play my turn 1, and I would just literally do that, and they would either scoop or I would lose. And I was just like, wow, that felt great. I spent 20 minutes doing my singular turn to end in a mediocre to subpar board state, to then hope I had enough hand traps and trap cards set up to basically tell my opponent they can't play the game. And I was just like, this is dumb. Although Master Duel has its own problems because, like, their ban list is, like, not on par with normal Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think that's kind of bad.
It's like the English format right now. It doesn't exist.
It's like Standard and Magic, more accurately. It just doesn't
Well,
exist.
I meant like, because it's not the Japanese ban list, and it's not the English ban list. It's some weird amalgamation of both, but neither.
I just want Max C to die. That card was a ginormous mistake.
That card was printed when I still played the game.
Yeah, it was like one of, like, it was in the era of Effectivaler where it was like, oh, this is a hand trap? Like, I mean, technically Karibo was a hand trap, but like, who the fuck used Karibo?
Wing Karibo level 9?
Wing Karibo is not a hand trap.
Not if you're not doing it right.
And then, like, Dragon Ball Super has hand traps too, and I hate them. Like, I just hate hand traps. Hand traps are not fun. But Dragon Ball Super, like Yu-Gi-Oh!, also makes their hand traps free, versus Magic where you have to pay for them. Like, I think One Piece is going to be better than Super in terms of, like, staying power as a card game.
I mean, that's not saying much.
I know it's not.
I mean, I guess, like, I'm a little afraid of them abandoning Digimon for One Piece, but I guess Dragon Ball Super would actually be the first thing to go.
Yes.
They want to do the same thing with a very similar idea of it's a card game about people.
Well, I mean, it's an anime card game, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a monster. Like, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Like, Digimon, at least technically, they could just create a new Digimon for the card game exclusively, and, you know, that's it. That answers that problem of they need more Digimon. They're not just going to create Monkey Luffy's, orphaned twin brother for the anime or manga so that they can make a card about it.
I mean, yeah. They would theoretically have to wait for show progression. And, like, there are a lot of characters for them to pull on, but, like, some of them are just so minor. It's just like, why did this guy get a card? Oh, because they kind of didn't have enough room to put any other thing there. That is a dog howling outside somewhere. Sounded actually almost like a coyote. Wouldn't surprise me. Ugh. How many boxes do I have left? Too many. How many boxes of this set did you get? 2?
Many.
None?
What?
How many boxes of the set did you get, Knockout?
None. It hasn't out yet.
Oh. I mean, how many
Tomorrow-
are you planning on getting?
2 or 3, depending on what I get. I mean, I obviously want to have a playset of everything, preferably that day, so that I can play Examon tomorrow night at locals, but if not, then we'll see. I'm not going to buy a whole extra box for, like, a rare or something, but if I need another Examon, I'll be like, another box won't kill me.
It'll be interesting to see how this box market reacts compared to
So I
some
think
of the others.
EX2 I decidedly got 2, and that was plenty. If almost too much.
Well, I mean, 1 box and you get a playset of all the commons.
Well, I was only trying to get D-Reapers, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, the 2 was fine then.
I think I got 21 searchers total.
Out of 2 boxes? That's impossible.
No, 3. You're right.
You get an average of 7 to 9 searchers per box.
So there was 3 then.
Yeah. Although it is going to be interesting to see how the tournament on Saturday, like what the results are. But it's like at the same time, it's like, it just doesn't matter. One, two, three, four, five. So I got one more super. I'd have to like go through and double check, but like I think maybe every single box might come with an alt art super, just to act as that 7th super. Like it might be seated that way on purpose. I don't know. Ooh, Hydra. Ooh, something cut out. Oh. Well, that box is done. I forgot I had OBS running in the background. I could close that out, save some RAM. I should be putting these in sleeves, but I'll put them in sleeves later.
Consuming admiration.
Ugh.
Well, if I...
I don't even know what my locals was doing tonight. They had some sort of event. I think maybe tonight was either Flesh... I think it was Flesh and Blood. No, it was Commander. It was paid Commander. So they have free Commander on Mondays and then paid Commander like CEDH on Thursdays.
I haven't done it in a hot minute, but my locals actually has a really cool thing that they do for their Commander tournaments, because Commander is inherently not a competitive format, but you can still make it competitive without it making it degenerate. And
CEDH.
No. So
No, I know CDH is degenerate.
Like, I mean, it's degenerate on purpose, but the idea is they basically have a player like committee, and they use a there's like a point system. So basically, your goal is to have the most points.
Oh,
at the end of the tournament.
yeah. I've seen those.
And it's like, you know, every additional turn is like -2 points. Going infinite, -5 points. You know, playing your commander +1 point, you know, the first time or something, you know, and just stuff like that. Basically, to kind of like curve, like you can make a powerful deck that isn't, you know, an infinite mana, infinite turn loop, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it rewards more creativity.
Like, I think one of them, I mean, I feel like it's maybe slightly less relevant now, because I think it was like play 4 planeswalkers in a game. It's like these little achievements you wanted to get out, and then, oh, like if I get 4 planeswalkers out, then I get 3 points. And the person who wins the game doesn't necessarily get the most points. Usually they don't, honestly, because winning, I think, is like 2 or 3 points. But you know, you can get -5 points for going infinite. So if you go infinite to win, you actually just lost yourself points.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yeah,
So,
no, I've
That's
seen
what
that.
they did. And then they also have a I want to say modified like ban list. Like it's not an actual ban list, but it's just
Like a
just
house
stuff
ban
like
list.
That. Well, I don't think they actually ban or restrict any cards. I think the whole point is just that they have their point system, and but through the point system, it automatically curtails certain strategies.
No, I get it. I've played that style of commander before. My old play group back in my college days, we just kept trying to one-up each other, and the game got less and less fun because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just like, it was literally just who spent the most money on the most powerful card. That's what it ended up becoming.
Is this? Did I finally find the card? No. Nope.
Oh, come on.
What I did find was a just text of my old because I played on X-Mage.
Yeah.
So I just have like text files of all of my commander decks that I haven't ever built in paper, and it's in here. The card is literally in here because I remember playing it. I just have to find a way to import this somewhere.
But I keep seeing posts all the time on does Digimon have alternate formats, and I really don't think Digimon needs an alternate format. Like, I think maybe one more year, it would be interesting to see a block tournament or like a block event start to form. Just because that might be interesting, but I don't think the game really needs it, and right now the card pool doesn't really support it very well. Because, like, I keep seeing, like, oh, I want a commander like one, and then everyone just says, go play Chosen One. And then I look at the Chosen One rules, and I'm just like, this... No. Just no.
I think with more cards, it'll definitely be something that could potentially be done.
Yeah. Like, it needs to naturally happen. You can't just say, oh, I want to force Commander. Well, there's only 4 sets legal. Why are you trying to create a, like, Commander type format when we barely have enough singleton cards to make a singleton deck? Like, it made absolutely 0 sense. Like, Commander happens more naturally, where it's just like, oh, let's just do this. Because, you know, there's only like 25,000 cards legal and lots of different combinations and possibilities. No, Digimon barely has it doesn't even have 2,000 cards yet. And then, like, the funniest one was, like, Digimon Pauper. And I'm just like, what's the point of Digimon Pauper? It's just like, to reduce the cost down. And I'm just like, well...
Bruh, this super rare is 25 cents.
Yeah,
this
I'm just like, how can I...
in Magic Pauper. Or,
right.
Penny Dreadful, not Pauper, but...
Yeah,
like...
I'm just like, this literally, what you're saying does not actually make any sense at all.
Okay, nope, this isn't it either.
Like, I get limiting to, like, rares and below just to be able to use tamers, like, sure, okay, whatever. Just to try to use cards alternatively, but, like, you really don't. The game is still pretty young, and it needs to get past the dreaded 3 to 4 year mark. Yeah, I have the game be firmly established, have a good plethora of cards for you to use, and then we'll talk about alternate formats. Because, like, right now, if you instill, like, black format, like, certain decks literally just don't exist or get cut off from some of their key pieces. Like, it's weird because of just how they've designed their blocks and they've designed their sets.
Yeah, I mean, because it's inherently part of what they do is they just... Sometimes they'll have, like, 3 sets in a row where they just bam, 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 there's a very competitive deck in 3 sets, you know, as the case with something like Alphamon. And then other times it's like, hey, I remember that Agumon? We're still playing it. It's still good. Like, I mean, they're making more Agumons on the daily, but...
Yeah, I mean, part of it is because obviously Agumon sells. He's like the Pikachu. It's just like, you gotta have him. Same thing with the Omnimon. It's like, he's the Charizard. You just throw it in a set and make it a halfway presentable card and it will sell like hotcakes.
Okay, well, I'm still going through decks, and I'm at the point where I've just created a card in my head. I feel like I'm having a bridge game. I'm sitting here going through my text file decks, importing them into a deck building website, and I'm at like 4 or 5 decks in, and I haven't found the card yet. I went through all of like,
oh,
Scry
and welcome Duelin X.
Maybe it's this deck, because this deck's a little nutty. I mean, I do remember that my friends and I, because we were using like an online proxy, we made some like ridiculous decks. Like, this deck uses all the original dual lands and such. Like, this deck is currently $7,400 in paper.
Oh my god. I think like my most expensive Magic deck is probably like maybe $500 to $1,000 for my most expensive commander. And that would probably be Dragons. Like, Slivers is pretty high up there in terms of price. Dragons is pretty high up there. I don't think I have that many, like, super expensive Planeswalkers.
Think you know Amazon? Think again.
Like,
You know
most of the
you can
time
get
I
a
build
seasonal
budget
warehouse
decks.
job
Like, I was
today.
the budget
You don't
king
even
when
need
it
to
came
interview.
to,
That means you can
to
make
Magic.
extra cash before the holidays. You can even pick your own payday. And
At least I
seasonal
felt
jobs
that
can lead
way.
to full-time, regular employment. You'll be amazed by what you can get as an Amazon
Nope,
warehouse
no
associate.
Examon
To learn
here.
more about all the benefits of
But
working
I
a
already have
seasonal
3
job at
Examons, so
Amazon,
I'm
go
on
to
pretty good track.
Amazon.com/hourly. Amazon is
One
proud to
Alt
be an
Arts
equal opportunity
Imperial.
employer.
So that's pretty
Whether
okay.
it's Kroger Simple Truth Turkey or mac and cheese with Murray's English
Oh, I
cheddar,
forgot to get a
or
4-row.
made with fresh
Oops.
Cosmic Crisp apples. There are many dishes we look forward to sharing during the holidays, and Kroger
What's that?
has all the fresh ingredients
Just
you
a
need
4-row
to turn
box
today's holidays into
Oh.
tomorrow's memories. Kroger,
to store
fresh for
all of the
everyone.
cards.
Mm-hmm.
I am halfway into this case and an hour 15 into the stream. I'm making okay time.
Yeah, not bad.
I could probably pick up the speed a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to do any deck building. It'll just be too late since it's already midnight for me.
Okay, I found it.
Aha.
I've been staring at the card for a while, and it's because the card has since been reprinted and uses a different art
Ah.
in the new printing. So I clicked on the card that I thought was it, and that I've seen a couple times. And I'm like, this is a similar ability to what I described. And I look at all of the arts that aren't the one that it shows you because it's the cheapest one, the most recent one, and I'm like, oh no, that's it. Yep, Consuming Aberration.
Oh.
I even tried looking up the
Yep.
subtype Aberration
Yep.
because I knew it was a horror, I knew it was a creature, blue black, everything.
Yeah,
checked.
he's a classic mill card.
Yep. power and toughness equal to the number of cards in all opponents' graveyards. So he's like a 90-90 half the time. And then whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal land, put the rest in their graveyard.
Yep, grind.
Yep. Classic mill card. Consuming Aberration.
Yep.
So not a reanimator card as I thought it was, but it's still really good for mill. It also is the third card listed under EDH Rec for high synergy mill cards.
Yeah, that card's ballistic.
But it got reprinted recently, so the art is just nothing. Like I was like, that's not what that looks like.
My college buddy, one of them, he built a Phoenix mill deck, and 1v1 that deck was really freaking annoying, for obvious reasons. Like, I think Digimon has a lot of room for various other strategies to exist. They just gotta, like, start creating them. Like, we already see them trying to play with inter-turn interaction more and more. So, they're trying to figure out what's the best approach without, like, I think, destroying the game.
I think the easing into it is probably the only way they're going to be able to do it, because to just throw something like that at people, especially, I mean, though I guess people usually do exist somewhere else in the Japanese card game sense. Not many people approach this as their first card game. Honestly, probably not even second sometimes. Like, they have experience with maybe a smaller one, and then like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, maybe. But, you know, some stuff like Slayer Dramon it's easing into it, you know, you ease in.
Yes.
Because it has a very clear,
ooh, pretty
strength. It is a very clearly defined strength. So, you know, against something like a Jesmon, I raise Savior, and then, or as the meme from today on the subreddit, I raise Bao Huckmon, because they're going to want to Digivolve into Savior to get something for free. So, I raise Bao Huckmon, okay? I tap Slayer Dramon unsuspends himself, and Bao Huckmon is forced to attack, and then I block it with Exabon. And there goes your whole play.
Yep. As far as what I'm hoping to pull, Duelinax, literally everything. That is what I hope to pull. Literally everything. That's the only reason why I ever want to buy cases, is to guarantee that I get at least like a full playset of the secret rare. I know I'm going to be getting a full playset of the rare and commons and uncommons and supers, but it's to try to guarantee a playset of the secrets.
Not including alt arts.
Not including alt arts. I mean, sometimes it includes the alt art just because they'll give me like 3 and then 1 alt art, and I'm just like, well, I'm forced to take that. And then sometimes they don't, like Susanomon in BT7. I didn't get a full playset. Made me very sad.
Are you now, though?
No, because I ended up trading for the card, so I'm okay.
I was gonna say, I only need 2 Susanoo, ever. Just like Death X, I have 3 Death X, I had 2 Susanoo. The most I'd ever run is 2. And I got it by trading the 1 alt art that I pulled for 2 regular art.
Heck yeah, that's winning.
Just the straight up twofer.
Yeah, I'll take the 2 for 1 all day.
Oh, it's past midnight, so they're no longer considered pre-release.
I mean, these cards, yeah. So, how much have some of the cards already fallen? I'm curious.
They're not.
They're not?
I mean, they haven't. I mean, it's been like 2 hours since I last looked. The most expensive card of the set right now is Examon Altart at $40, and regular Examon's like $25. Hydramon Altart's $40.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, Hydramon Altar? Oh, right, because it looks like... Yeah. It looks like a Resident Evil boss. I'll just say that. Alright, is this gonna have the Examon?
Hydramon Altart. Oh yeah, the Hydrosi.
Oh, no, it had the Imperial Fighter mode instead. I'm like, oh, is this gonna have Examon? Nope, the other one.
I actually forgot about the Hydrosi. That's hilarious. Fighter mode Altarts, $40. Like, again, these are just very blanket pre-release. All the, like, in-demand Altarts are $40. And then all of the, like, slightly lower tiered, less playable Altarts are not.
Yeah, I'm sure tomorrow the prices are gonna drop pretty hardcore.
So like Chaos Dramon Altarts, $25. Slayer Dramon Altart, $20. Dark Dramon, $20. Dracomon, $20. Break Dramon, $20. These are all Altarts exclusively. I'm sorting from high to low, but regular fighter mode's already $15.
He went up. He was pre-selling, like, normal art fighter mode was pre-selling for $10.
Alt art metallic Dramon is $15.
Hey, there you go. I think that art is fire.
It is really cool.
Oh, first pack, Examon.
I honestly do have I mean, it's almost 100% just confirmation bias, but I do feel like I strongly open like the front left pack, and it's usually just like a super or a secret or something.
I thought for a while the packs were like seated too. Like, oh, third from the bottom on the right side's always a SR. Like, there were some sets where I literally thought that that was the case. And then I would have like maybe one or two boxes where it actually strayed for that, and I'm like, well, I was mostly right. A metallic. I gotta figure out how the deck is put together. Do you just literally put it together? Does it literally put itself together?
What?
The metallic? The deck for metallic?
Kind of. It's not like 100% plug and play, because there's still some like you still have some slots that it doesn't just give you. Like, you only have 8 level 5s or level 4s, so it's not 100% sure what you're supposed to put in those other slots. Or at least, yeah, it's not like just, oh, EX03, you know, whatever.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I mean, you get 8 level 5s, so that's easy. And
yeah, you get 8 level 5s,
6s.
8 level 6s. You get 8 level 4s and 8 level 3s. So you still have a lot of the deck just auto put together for you. I don't know if you actually run them in those quantities. I think you would. Because, like, I was looking at the stupid Four Holy Dragons deck, and I was just like, it doesn't really want you to put in just 8 of everything. But, like, and then I saw a winning list where it was like, oh, here's literally 8 of everything, and then an insert tamer here. And I'm just like, what?
I mean, if they won with a 4 Great Dragons deck, then it doesn't matter what they put in it.
But like I was trying to like think of like more critically of those like lines to try to like come up with something better, and I'm just like, this deck is just so bad. There's like really not much. Like it doesn't matter what I put in because it all is just bad. Hey, Dark Digimon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got one more here and two more here. And then after this, I have 4 boxes left. Although, did you see the Bagramon BT12 deck idea using Kaiser Nail?
No,
No?
I did not see that.
Oh, so they use the new Bagramon Darkness mode or whatever, and they just cheat them out using Kaiser Nail. They're just like, okay, you force Digicross, Kaiser Nail them out. This is a fire alt art too. This set has some really good alt arts. A lot of decks can win, just are missing something to help win. Yeah.
Like good cards. Oh, that is a super. I'm like, wait a second. Something's not clicking. Okay, so I got all this stuff.
And now, another stroke of genius from Genesis Credit Union. Today, Genius.
Yeah, if I was an evil store owner, and I was doing like these case openings, I would literally wait till I get to this point and then just like any leftover packs just be like, here's random pack pile. And then just sell the individual packs because like they would sell more theoretically. Like there's ways to be scummy about selling individual packs.
With the right music and the right
Yeah.
motivation from world-class instructors.
We're gonna pick it up a notch. It's the
Also why
holiday
people
season.
like you and I exist, where,
Surprise yourself with what you're
you know,
capable
we're
of.
buying exclusively
Work
at,
out thousands
you know,
of
the
live
case
on-demand
level,
classes.
or the
From
box
running to
level.
cycling to yoga.
I mean,
Try Peloton risk-free
people
with
should
no
always
extra
buy at the box level.
New members only. Not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/.
Like my brother was buying some random booster packs from Special Booster 1.0 and 1.5 because our store still had some. And I'm just like, dude, you're taking a huge risk here. And then he opened up one of the alt arts with only a couple packs left. And is like, is it worth it to try to get the rest of these? And I'm just like, probably not. You already pulled like everything good in there. And then he goes in and lo and behold, they're all duds because he bought all the good cards from all the good packs. Like, I do it at pre-releases all the time. I try to evaluate, like, what are my odds of actually, like, getting good stuff. My odds for pre-releases are awful. I have not had a good pre-release pull since pretty much the beginning. But luckily for me, I know how to play the game.
I hope so.
Like, and I understand the limitations of sealed. Hey. Do you think Bandai is gonna ever rotate cards? No.
Yes. It's an inevitability.
Hey, Altar Fighter Mode Part 2. I don't think it's an inevitability. They haven't done that in Super yet, and Super's been around longer and has the same block structure.
Yeah, but Super's not good. So I guess, yeah, for Digimon to remain a good card game, yes.
If they could get a better grasp on set design and block structure as a whole, yes. They could have a good rotation. Do I think they're able to do that and will do that? No.
Yeah. That's pretty fair.
Because, like, they would have to be, like, from this block, like, block 2 forward, they theoretically could have a good block structure set up, depending on what all of those cards in the new sets and new blocks are. Because, like, if you follow all of the sets so far, you had the start of block 2, which was BT10, Cross Hearts. Like, Cross Hearts and Cross Wars themed. Then that theme literally continues to BT11 and BT12 as well. So, like, you have just a solid foundation for those decks. Hey, Altar Hina.
Because I think, like, the easiest way to understand my very, like, kind of one-dimensional take is that they either strictly rotate cards by actually, okay, these cards are no longer legal, blah, 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 like, rotation, or they just effectively make there be a rotation by just continuously printing better versions of older cards until you never use the old ones anymore. So, which would you rather have? One that's enforced via power creep, or one that's just, you know, you can use the old cards, and maybe 2023 competitive season comes around, they rotate some old cards, you know, the block 0 cards, prior to the block structure, except for maybe a set given amount of them, because that's how actual rotations work. You don't just get rid of all the old cards and they're gone forever. You just get rid of them outside of certain ones that you're going to reprint, aka they're literally doing a reprint set. And then, you know, I guess the only disparity, because you could use different printings of cards, so, you know, you would have a block 0, like, TK that you could use, but they will also have a block 2 TK that's the same exact card with the same exact set number, except it'll have a block 2 next to it because it was released during block 2.
I mean, yeah, but right now, based on their design and how they're reprinting cards and, like, everything, it just doesn't seem like they want to support an actual rotation.
No, that's why they're going to go with option A, which I think worse. Way more likely, but worse. Where they just effectively, like, rotate cards by just printing better versions of old cards. Until you never use them anymore. But because, honestly, if they did announce that there was a rotation tomorrow, there'd be a lot of butthurt people. But if they announced tomorrow that Greymon X Antibody Merciful Mode is going to come out, and then you can just take all of your old X Antibody cards and shred them, and it's effectively the same.
You just started playing and some of the older cards are getting pretty expensive. That's just what happens when cards just get out of print and they're still hot in demand.
Reprint set should fix that quite a bit, honestly. Anytime
yeah.
they've been very successful so far with reprinting cards to make them valuable, or to make them not as, like, ridiculous.
Yeah, easier
like,
to access.
Davis is actually pretty cheap now. Davis is a very good example.
Davis, what's his current price? He was sitting at around 7.
I was gonna say, last I checked it was like $5. He went from like $20 to $5.
Yeah. But, like, Bandai just loves reprinting cards in general. So, like, if it's popular or expensive enough, that's on, like, a mid to low rarity, they will reprint it. Even, like, they've just proven that they're not afraid to reprint some secrets. AE, look at Beelzemon. He's actually getting a reprint. Now it's a luck
In the
reprint.
structure deck.
Yeah, you're not guaranteed one, I believe, but like the fact that they still reprinted him is a big deal. Except starter deck Ty and Greymon, they did.
Nope.
They just botched
They
it.
did. They just. Yep. There was a starter deck.
Like there
that
was a
they
starter deck for them to be in.
They decided not to do it in North America.
Yep, they were just like, let's put it in as a box topper and throw it as a pack. And I'm just like, that's the worst way you could have done that. I mean, but like, not all decks. We're at a point where not all decks need them anymore. Like, if you're playing like Black War Greymon, you don't realistically need the starter deck Greymon. There's other Greymons that you can use, and it's not like your deck is going to be suffering because you're not using it. Like, there's actually
That's
an
what I mean.
argument.
So that's Exhibit A. Starter deck Greymon's a very powerful card. You don't need it to be competitive anymore because they've effectively printed it out of, relevance by making other things
no,
better.
they didn't. It's just the style of the deck isn't trying to go for big damage.
Same thing, different words. Sec plus 1 isn't as valuable as it used to be.
No, it's still insanely valuable. It's just, again, Black War Greymon isn't the OTK deck. It isn't what you're playing Greymon for. Like, you're playing Greymon to control the field. So you want cards to better support that.
version might use it.
The what version?
BT12.
Of
The,
Black War?
The War Grey X. Like the red-black War Grey.
He could. Like, and that's the part where it's just like he isn't irrelevant, but he's also not being needed as much depending on the deck and the style. It's like he was pretty bad early on because we had such limited options and tools and decks weren't necessarily complete. But now that decks are actually getting more complete packages, they're just needing him less and less. Now in Greymon based decks, like if you're running like Red War Grey X, like yeah, that card's pretty needed. Just because he does want to go for that big damage. But in something like Black War, there's an argument where it's just like, yeah, I don't actually need him. I would rather have the 2000 DP to hit 17k. Or, like, literally a different type of inheritable. And same thing with Ty. Like, he's good for a lot of decks, don't get me wrong. But you don't need him, and sometimes it's just too hard to play the memory fixing tamer to where it's just like it's not even worth running him. Just one, as an example, completely cut it. He just doesn't have the room for it, and he doesn't have the ability to play it.
You have Sistermons that are essentially tamers that can die and attack.
I mean, yeah.
That's where the deck slot's allocated to. Because if you had something like, see what you're really waiting for is now we've just got to the point where, as you said, like you can't afford to play out a tamer. It's too slow. Just play a tamer for 4 that's a memory tamer. That's what's ridiculous. That's way too expensive. Especially like the tamers that aren't Davis that don't do anything the turn they come down. Blasphemy. So how do you solve that problem? You just give every level 4 the inheritable ability when digivolving. If you don't have X, on archetype tamer, play X archetype tamer. Because that's what they all do now.
Haha, Dark Dream. Oh, Altar Hydra, woo woo.
The Hydra C.
Yes. I was bound to get one eventually.
That means two things.
Huh. More Hinas. Oop. There's a Goldramon.
Damn it. Dude's fast.
What's fast?
I'm playing League and this dude's just zooming.
League. Gross.
What else am I gonna do while I watch you open packs that I'm gonna open tomorrow?
I don't know. Duelin X, thanks for the follow.
Nice. What else is there? I'm gonna look at like more of the sane cards. So, like some of the alt arts are pretty booty already. Like, Megidramon alt art's already $5.
Oh, right. I mean, that's just what happens with EX sets.
Wingdramon is $4. Nice.
Well, because he's a box topper.
Wingdramon's a box topper?
Yep.
What are the box toppers?
It is, Sealstramon, Pyildramon, Dinobeamon, Groundramon, Wingdramon, and, Vdramon. Hey.
Are those all from EX3?
Yeah. Because that's
Okay.
what this is.
I know, I just making sure that it was that version that was the box topper.
Well, I mean, I didn't open up those yet, so I have no idea what they actually look like, if they change the art or anything. Aha, Aegis Destructor.
The
All right.
regular, honestly, yeah, I might just stick with like 2 boxes.
2 boxes by the singles.
Well, because even like Metallic Dramon's $2
For base art or alt art?
base art.
Base art? That's he's
But-
gonna drop harder.
I know. That's what I mean. That's the pre-release prices. It's pre-sailing for $2. Like, please,
Hey.
somebody buy this garbage card. That it's just unfortunately where the
The market is.
yeah, like it's either alt art or bust.
Yeah.
Even though Dragon or the Link deck will see play and will be pretty good, honestly, until BT11 comes out.
Alright, so I got 2 more boxes left before the great sorting to see where card distributions are.
Genesis Credit Union. Today, Genius Checking.
I'm no math whiz, but even I can calculate the benefits of a Genius high-yield checking account from Genesis Credit Union. With just 10 debit transactions a month and e-statements, I'll earn 4.07% APY.
With 28 locations and 30,000 ATMs.
What bam?
Stop by or check us out. GenesisCU.org. Genius. That's Genesis. Federally insured by the NCUA. Annual percentage yield for an average daily balance up to 7%.
So, like, the funny thing is, like, they could use, like, these EX sets, we don't need necessarily a hardcore reprint set. They could just fill out, like, oh, here is the 70 new cards followed by 30 reprints. Like,
Just do the opposite of what the reprint set's doing.
yes.
The inversed ratios.
Yes, just to fill it out, because there's zero reason why they need to charge us the exact same for less.
Because
Like, I
people
saw
will buy
that
it.
and I was just like, are they crazy?
Because people will buy it.
Yeah, people will buy it. I mean, just look at me. Hook, line, and sinker, even though I know this is not a good deal.
That's the good stuff. It's the same feeling you get from a gooey, easy, cheesy helping of Kraft mac and
Isn't there a reprint set with messed up translations? No. I mean, we don't even know exactly what the reprint set is gonna have yet. We
Yeah,
know
it's
the
like
theme of the
super
new cards is
conceptual
gonna
phase
be
right now.
Ghost games. It's this set that just has a couple of like messed up translations.
It's mostly, yeah, as you mentioned, it's just because they just couldn't transplant mechanics correctly because they use kanji. They had to go back and errata like cards to be different archetypes or different subtypes so that they work the way that they're supposed to with the decks that they're supposed to.
Yep. Oh, speaking of erratas, do you want to check to see if they actually did do an update to the rules and have EX03 cards on the errata list?
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Well, no, I'm saying, did they already do that? Like, their whole apology spiel where it's just like, oh, Dorbigmon should say Dragon, Serapin, or Soar in its trait, and it doesn't. Like, on the website, does it have the EX3 updates for the erratas? Hey, Dragon mode. So I was curious if they would update that at midnight or if they would update that like later.
There's a frequently asked questions section.
That's not what we're looking for. We're just looking at the erratas to see if they updated it for EX3.
Nope. The last errata cards were added on PT10.
Got it. Oop. Oop. Yeah, so I think this is going to be similar to what I got from EX2. Because EX1 only had one secret. Maybe on Friday? Technically is Friday.
It is currently Friday.
As of the recording or slash streaming of this video. Aegis.
Yeah, errata cards has not... Errata and restriction has not been touched since October 28th.
What? Bam. Oh, chaos. Oh. I was so happy my graphics card came in today. So now I have all of the pieces of Exodia to be able to build my computer. Alright, last box. Ugh. Wow, by not going super slow, I cut out almost like 40 minutes. It's a new world record.
It took me as long to find the name of that magic card.
Uh-oh. Maybe I'll get an altar, Examon.
You already got one.
No, another one.
I don't think you can.
Alt art. This is normal art, secret.
So I mean, you already got one in the case though, right?
Yeah.
One per case, right?
That's what it used to be. BT10 kind of BT10 kind of destroyed that because it was like, oh, why did I get so many of this one? Was that the third Imperial Fighter Mode base form? I think so. Well, after this, we'll easily find out. Destroy the packaging. Maybe I could slide these over a little bit better. There we go. I don't understand why the Vmon line, like the Vdramon line more specifically, is for Holy Dragons. Or, for 4 Great Dragons.
They said so?
I mean, I guess.
I think it's because there is some precedent for them to have the yellow. I think it was like really early on. Look.
Like, usually there's like lore reasons and everything. And I just don't know the lore reason behind it.
No, actually, so no, this is the first time that line has been in yellow.
Yeah, it's always been in blue.
I could have sworn that there was a... I guess I'm just thinking of like the Agumon / Geogray line.
Yeah.
Like there was a yellow Agu, like, pretty much immediately.
Yeah, I mean, there's technically an Agumon in every single color now.
Yeah, yellow.
Not like
EP2
straight Agumon, but a Agumon variant.
Shine Gray Agumon. Yellow Shine Gray Mon.
So you got like fake Agumon expert in purple. Blue you have Snow Agumon. Green you have an Agumon. Yellow you also have an Agumon. The green one is supposed to be for Tyrannomon though. And then the obvious yellow one is supposed to be for like Geogray / Shine. Snow is supposed to be for, I guess technically Hexablow. Oops.
I think so, yeah.
And then obviously we have red, and black.
Oh, actually, Snow Agumon Digivolves in a Mega Seadramon.
Oh, Aegis-Dramon, that makes sense. Wait. Yeah, because Mega Seadramon Digivolves into Aegis-Dramon.
Metal Seadramon to Giga Seadramon Maybe there's like a divergent pathway at some point.
Hey, another Hina. Nice. Ah, cards are spewing everywhere. There we go. Bam. Imperial. Although, I do just still like the fact that Digimon is super cheap because it's accessible for the most part.
Yeah. Definitely a big selling point of the card game is that it's, like, probably legitimately the cheapest card game.
Oh, that used to be, I hate saying it and bringing it up, that used to be Force of Wills, but, game's dead.
Yep.
Shame, too.
There are many dead card games.
There's a lot of dead card games. Most of them come from the early 2000s, and a lot of them are anime-based card games as well. What do you think of the Beelzemon starter deck? I think that deck is great. For a starter deck,
really
I think that's a really good starter deck. Probably one of their better ones. They've been slowly getting better on their starter decks, but I think that one is, like, right now their pinnacle of good starter
I still
deck
think
design.
they need to, like, reassess what, like, they throw the term starter deck on something and then they don't necessarily make it 100% marketed as a starter deck.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, they have, like, intro, like, I would say that starter decks 1 through 6 are, like, actually just intro decks. They're not really
Yeah.
starter decks. Then starter decks would be more of, like, what we currently have.
And
And then
the-
Beelzemon is marketed and labeled
more like a
as an
challenger
expert
deck.
deck. Yeah. It's
More
supposed
like
to
a
be more of
challenger
like an expert level starter deck. And I think that's pretty dope. And I think the deck looks good.
Because, I mean, I guess at some point you have to kind of transition at least some of your, development to not trying to bring in entirely new players and trying to bring back players who have at one point played the card game. Like, I mean, honestly, if you haven't played for 6 months, you can't play your deck anymore and win with any reasonable expectation. Assuming that you can still play the deck that you played 6 months ago, because we have had 2 ban and restriction announcements since then. So,
Oh, dope. I got the misprinted dragon mode.
nice.
I totally forgot this card was even in this set.
And then, so, you've got people who are like, hey man, I played Purple Cherubimon in BT7. Like, what should I play now?
Are the
And then
box
they're
toppers
like-
literally just foil, and that's the only difference? That's lame. Because I'm opening these up, and they're all uncommons, and they're all just foil with the original art.
Hell yeah. Lazy.
Yeah, these are easily their laziest ones, which is why I think like this one's like the super special chase for box toppers. And it's even misprinted. Well, not really misprinted, just poorly translated. So like it says
No, it's literally wrong. It says
Yeah.
it digivolved for more or less than it does.
Yeah, and then it also says in the color I could pay 3 memory / green or green. Like or it's geen, not green. It's geen. Yeah, so these are just foil versions of the uncommons, which uncommons usually aren't printed in foil. Ah, I got a second one. Hashtag winning. I don't actually know the pull rates on these. Ah, a third one. So what does it say on here? Oh, it just has question mark. Could you check the price on these Imperials, actually? Altar Dragon Mode. Hopefully this last one is going to be another Wing Dramon for you.
Draconic Roar. Singles.
I would just type in Imperial and just look for the Virus Imperial Altar. You'll probably find it faster.
Imperial Dramon. Fighter mode? Dragon mode?
Dragon mode.
Not there.
Don't look by the set. Just look at all of the Imperial Dramon
I'm not.
Dragon modes.
I'm saying it's not there.
Oh, it's not?
Is it a box topper?
Yeah, it's a box topper.
Nope. I mean, there's one without an image here. Is it the Imperial Dramon Dragon Mode BT3 alt art?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no image for it, and it's $20.
Dope. I just pulled 3 of them. If all of the other box toppers are pretty much worthless, I just pulled 3 of the best one.
And it is listed under Draconic Roar.
Oh, Draconic Roar box topper. Got it. Yep, it's Geen. It says Geen. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. Alright, now we gotta do the fun stuff, which is the breakdown. So, alt art. I guess I just throw alt arts into 2 different piles? Just the supers and rares? Just so I can compare how many I got. Super rare, and then Chaos, Age, Hydra, you.
I mean, if this says anything, we're, you know, not even an hour into the release of it, so the card's only going to go down. And on the second page on TCG Player, you already have half the page full of cards that are $1 or less.
Yeah, that literally sounds about right.
Like, Hina is in the 3rd row, so in the top 12 cards on the second page, and Hina is already at $1. Slayer Dramon's $1. Trial of the Great Four Dragons $1. But so yeah, the ceiling right now is Examon alt art 40, Hydramon alt art 40, Imperial Fighter Mode alt art 40, Hina alt art 40, Chaos Dramon 25, regular Examon 25, Slayer Dramon alt art 20, Dark Dramon's alt art 20, Dracomon alt art 20.
How many different SRs are in this set? I could swear there was 10, but I'm only seeing 8. I guess that makes sense.
Super rare. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8.
Okay.
8 SRs.
I'm just used to 10.
Yeah, it's a smaller set. And only one of them is blue. And it's not good.
See? Blue could be bad.
Yeah, but the yellow one is Gold Dramon. And there are 3 red ones.
Yeah.
Red, red black, and purple red.
Yep. The green one's Hydra.
Mm-hmm. Which is great. One of the better greens megas we've had in a long time.
Yeah, they finally threw green a bone.
I still have to play Bloom Hydra. Just because I feel like it really will play a lot like Sarismon played.
Did you like Sarismon?
Yeah. First deck I ever played.
Because I don't think I was part of the group at that time.
Yeah, I was like our resident green expert. And then, you know, green fell off the cliff and just broke every bone in its body and still isn't recovered.
I mean, you're not wrong. In 1.0, I did play Titamon, and I thought Titamon was like absolutely broken with the Titalock. Where it's just like, yeah, you just stick the Lilymon inheritable, swing, suspend their Digimon, swing with the other Titamon, kill it. Rinse and repeat.
Well, I mean, the worst part about green is that, like, because obviously the first thing anyone will ever say if you make fun of green is like, Grandis is really good. Yeah, it's barely green. Like,
Grandis feels more like a red deck.
the best part about the best parts of the deck aren't really green. It's just big and happens to have, you know, Digiburst and plus security. But that's not really a green mechanic. Like, it's kind of like borrowing from red. The greenest part about the deck is the piercing. That's it. And the fact that you can suspend an opponent's Digimon. But you don't need that to do the deck things. You'd have a perfectly functioning Grandis deck if you just took that out.
Oh, yep, I am shorted one Examon. Shame. Well, not really shorted one Examon. I just have
Including the
theoretically one extra secret alt art. Which I would have rather had it been an Examon. So something is slightly different, which is whatever.
Why do you have two piles of Darkdramon? Oh, you just made a mistake. That's why that's.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait a second. What did I do? I also had two Goldramon piles for a hot second. Okay, so I do have at least a full playset of Examon out of a case, and then I have one overflowed on the Imperial Fighter, which is fine. Would rather have it be an Examon, but fine. Alt art wise, I could sort out my Aegis, Dark Gold. I'm just curious on how much of what I got. So I got 2U, 2U, 2 of you.
Honestly, I was just like looking through Machine Dramon stuff, and I thought we already had Analog Man.
No, Analog Man comes out next set. So I got 3 Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode alt arts, and then I got... So you get like almost an average of 2 of each super alt art. Because, like, look at this. So I got 3 of him, 1 of him, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So you get like an average of 2 of all of the alt arts. At least for the supers. The rares, I think, are going to be a little bit more interesting.
2.
You might see.
2.
2. 2. 2.
Wow.
2. 2. Yep. Okay.
Literally just 2 of everything.
2 of everything. Yep. So alt arts, literally you're supposed to see like 2 of everything, and I think there's like literally 1 overflow allotted.
You literally just flipped a coin for whether it was an Examon or Imperial Dramon.
Yeah, as far as like case averages go, that seems to be the case. Hopefully they'll give purple or black other archetype. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Other
10,
archetype
11.
as in what?
I don't know.
Like just a new
2, 3, 4, 5,
line,
6,
a new
7, 8,
new
9.
level, a new Digimon to base itself around. Yeah. I mean,
1,
there's
2,
still
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Lilithmon X hasn't been announced yet, huh? Or BT12?
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
No.
6, 7, 8.
Because Lilith X might be pretty relevant.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9, 9, 8, 8, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's in the 8 pile. So this should be 11.
What is,
oh, there's a
what's
altar.
Gumdramon from?
Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
What the heck is Gumdramon?
So, okay, so there's 2 overflow cards. Oh, wait. Yeah, so there's 2 overflows. Because I missed a Goldramon altar. I put it in with the normal stuff. So you get 1 extra SR and altar and 1 extra secret altar. So these theoretically could be anything. I honestly think, based on how things are, this should have been this. Like, if I was, like, doing mathematical averages, this should have been the Examon. So, I feel a little cheated. But that's just how, like, slight randomization off of, like, mathematical probability goes. So, as far as breakdowns, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, normal. There's literally nothing crazy about this. The fact that the alt arts, you get an average of 2 of each, was actually pretty funny. So yeah, this 100% should have been another Examon. So I was shorted an Examon. Hooray. But yeah, that is all I have for the case opening. For the most part, it's just another EX set, smaller set. Can't really be disappointed with the majority of my pulls, considering I got near close to mathematical averages on my alt arts. And then as far as like the supers go, you're always at least like 1 to 2 playsets. So this was literally nothing to surprise. My friend's gonna be happy that I got more Aegis-Dramon. He wants to play it, but he's casual, so that's okay. I just have plenty for him. But yeah, so that's all I have for this video. As always, make sure to feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch over at twitch.tv/Zenitsu. This is going to be the last time I'm going to be doing a EX case opening. I'm going to be skipping the reprint set whenever we get that. And I'm just going to stick to mainline